Hello and welcome, everybody. This is Chart Request Live. Today is Thursday. We do this twice a week, every Tuesday and Thursday, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on Stock Market TV. I am joined, as always, by my esteemed co-host and friend, Patrick Dunawillow of the Chart Report. Hello, Pat.
How we doing, Steve?
Doing good.
You think we'll get S&P 5,000 this week, or they're gonna make us wait another week?
I mean, didn't the futures already get it done?
Did they tag it?
Do the futures count?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, hey, you remember we saw Dow futures break out a good day or two ahead of the actual index.
That's right.
We were I think on Spaces or something, and we couldn't believe it. We were like, hey,
You're right, Pat. Yeah.
major index just hit an all-time high for the first time in 2 years.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, look, the S&P 500 is just zoom in, right? Zoom, 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 zoom. It's taken out what, the high of day from yesterday? You would imagine it gets there.
Yeah,
All right, so
that's right there.
markets are looking pretty good, particularly at the index level.
Yeah.
Um,
Unless you're small caps, but that's been the case.
but small caps may be figuring it out, right? Like big stick today, drop a VWAP from the December highs. I think you're getting some much needed rotation, even though it's only one day, into the ARC stuff, right? The spec tech is really leading today. So it looks like a little bit of profit taking from mega and large tech or growth into others down the cap scale. This is the kind of stuff we want to see. So, I think some progress for sure this week. Want to see that broadening participation. And I think ARC maybe finally breaking out of this base in a decisive way gets us there.
Yeah, I mean, here's equal weight. Not looking too bad. I mean, would you call that a flag here?
Yeah, high and tight.
Consolidated. Yeah, at above a key level here too. That's not too shabby.
Absolutely. Bitcoin, right? That risk appetite, those crypto animal spirits. Love to see that.
And what a great kind of leading indicator. I think we can totally call it that, right?
I
It's
think so. Yeah.
acted that way.
Or at least it's just speaks to risk appetite in the same way a discretionary staples ratio might, right?
Right.
So not a bad thing is the bottom line. But let's hit it. Let's hit the chat. What do you say?
Let's do it.
I'm gonna give you something good here today. So we will start with the mailbag. Jeffrey, Accenture, ACN. They tell me this is an AI stock now.
What isn't an AI stock now?
Because a big part of AI, right? If you're the rest of the world, not one of these Silicon Valley, powerhouses, you need to be taught how to learn AI or how to implement it into your processes, right? There are consulting firms that are really leading the way with hooking people up with, how to improve their processes using AI. Accenture is one of them.
That actually doesn't seem like a stretch to me. That seems pretty reasonable. Yeah.
No, totally, right? Think about it. You're some industrial, widget maker. You don't have tech people at your company. Right. You have to hire somebody from the outside to come in, do a consultation, and kind of set you up. So I think it's big business for these guys.
Yeah. So, I mean, looking like a lot of charts, right? Completing, or it's getting there most of the way, right? We can drop a retracement here and see how much it's done, but I'd guess over 68 or over 62% here. Oh.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think, you're looking at all-time highs as your next target. That's around 420, 417-ish, 415, I guess. But if it breaks that, then you're looking at 525 as a potential target.
Right.
So this one's good, but it's a little slower one. Like, is this considered industrials or tech?
Probably industrials. Nope, tech.
Well, this is against the SPY, and you can see it doesn't have a clear trend, but overall, it looks like it's been an outperformer, right?
$230 billion cap on these guys.
Really?
This was spun off from KPMG.
Wow. And, that's just a reminder that, I know the big mega caps, they weigh a lot, but the little guys can come out of nowhere and surprise you. Like Nvidia was a smaller large cap a couple of years ago, and then here it is just sprinting towards one of the top spots. So you never know. I'm not saying Accenture will do that and be one of the top 7 stocks, but still has a big market cap and matters to the indexes.
Yeah, so this was big spinoff like 20 years ago.
From who?
I think KPMG. I'm looking at the article now.
Huh.
Anyway, there are others, right? Like I guess Gartner would fall into the same mode.
They're a consulting firm.
Yeah.
What's their
Throw it
ticker?
up. IT.
Oh yeah, you know what? I've seen this one a lot lately. I didn't know that was the ticker.
Yep.
Beautiful breakout there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of already got it.
But I like this whole theme.
Yeah.
You know,
I wasn't aware. You wouldn't think of these stocks as a AI play, but what you said made sense for sure.
and think about it. It's a safer way to play AI. Probably lower risk, lower reward. But these guys aren't making some huge bet, right? And trying to sell AI. They're going to let everybody else make the AI tools. They're going to learn how to use them, whatever they are, and then teach other people how to use them and charge them by the hour.
Right, right. And if AI is a flop for whatever reason,
Yeah,
they still have a business.
they just go on with their other $200 billion business.
Right, right.
So, all right, love that. Next, what do we got? That's a good one though, Jeffrey. Wavy, always up here at the top. PRIM, long. Please fib it out. Let me know my next target. Thanks.
All right.
Wavy, one of our favorites.
Oh yeah.
Always bringing the big bases. So I knew it was coming. Look at this base.
So I got to go to a monthly first.
Wavy, do you have some sort of scan where are you like quantifying and scanning and filtering for these bases? Because you always find just like such nice structural base. No, seriously.
You're talking about Wavy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see how he's finding these too, because a lot of the times they're not names you and I are looking at.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he brings us these monster bases, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Yeah, this is great.
I'd call this a little cup and handle action.
Yep.
But you definitely have these former highs here to contend with, and you can see it kind of struggled there in the past. I'll zoom into daily here. Ooh, that's a nice. Just the handle alone right there is really nice. But
Perfect. Zoom out to the prior cycle peak. I would draw right through that.
yeah.
I would draw right through that. That's
okay. I see what you mean.
that's a melt up there, right?
Huh.
And it just got slammed lower. I would draw right through that little spike.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. You're saying that was kind of just like
You could draw it there, or I would even, yeah, right. That's really the situation.
Yeah.
And then I think the pivot highs from late last year, you could enter there. Whatever, 36 something?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I said. Like you zoom in on this base, that's a beautiful base right there. I would just be trading this.
Yep.
What did he say for time frame?
I mean, he's trading these big bases, so it's not
True.
short-term trade. I don't know. He didn't mention.
I would definitely take some off probably at 40 if it's a shorter term trade. Or you can play this bigger base here. It's a little tough to figure out because of that thing, but here, let's see what this gives you. Oh wow, right around there too. You got 2 fibs up near that 47 level. I know that's a little hard to read, but yeah, I think for a long-term target, you probably want to air 47, 48. You got 2 major fib levels there. So that's worth a risk and reward too if you're playing a breakout of this 35 level, 36. I like it.
So you have several different ways to play it. I totally agree with you, Pat. You want to play that tactical little base, the second blue arc for your entry.
Yeah. What do they do? Is this an industrial company?
Pull it open. Pull it open. I'm not sure.
Operates a holding company which engages in provision of construction, fabrication, maintenance. But I'm telling you, it's all these construction stocks and infrastructure stocks, and
So good.
yeah, they're not sexy, they're not AI plays, but like they're the opposite of AI plays, but they're working. A lot of
Because the economy is red hot.
them.
And home builders were really some of the best information that we got last year that we were entering an economy that would be red hot, right? They totally front ran it and they were so right and they keep going up. So I don't think we should doubt them. I think they're innocent until proven guilty. And that means building materials, building products. That means the mortgage providers, right? It's a whole scene.
Yeah, yeah. And see, I know we've always thought of home builders as like a leading indicator, but I've never seen that so true until this cycle. I mean, that was the tell. That was one of the big tells. For another.
And you're spot on. I think it was extra pronounced
Right.
this time around.
Especially with the backdrop and the narrative of recession and housing crisis and all this stuff. Yeah.
Kevin, here's this is an interesting, yeah. Okay, Smith and Wesson. We are rolling into that. They're taking our guns away. Time of the presidential cycle. Breaking trend right now. Seasonals look good through April too. Okay.
What's the ticker? Let me just pull it up and then
SWBI.
Okay.
And then go for it. And I have some things to say.
No. Well, so go ahead.
This is the same, kind of line of thinking where we get to ideas like let's buy the private prisons, like Geo, right? You have all of these political names, right? And some are from the right and some are from the left. Only problem about this is that the market and all of the smartest people in the world, if you listen to anybody talking at Davos about the political environment, people are not even considering it like a possibility that Biden wins right now. So I don't think the market is going to start pricing in the taking your guns away thing, because the market's very much pricing in a Trump victory. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. It's not a political statement, but it just is. In fact, Jamie Dimon was doing a little bit of positioning, I think, at Davos, and is talking about how great Trump is and how good his policies are. This is a Trump critic. They're all trying to get on that bandwagon now, and you can see it clear as day. So I wouldn't look for like solar energy stocks or any of the left wing winning stocks to kind of run into this, because the market's not pricing a Democratic victory right now.
Right. I mean, and regardless of who wins, it's how many times have we seen what should work under
which just doesn't work.
Yeah, it'd be the opposite.
And that's the better point.
Trump was supposed to be great for energy stocks and terrible for tech. The opposite couldn't have been more true. Biden was supposed to be, great for tech. Well, yeah, but Patrick, we could go through numerous examples.
Patrick, do you know what the single best performing stock has been during the Biden presidency?
Oh man, that's a good question. So what did he get in 2020? When did he get in?
January 21, right?
Exxon?
Alpha Metallurgical Resources.
Coal. No kidding.
And that's if you measure it from the victory, right? So from November of 20.
You said AMR?
AMR. So that just makes your point, right? Go back to late 20.
Wow. And this is literally the best performing stock in the US.
Right. So if you need that theory to be debunked as, oh, this guy's in office, it's going to be great. You wouldn't think Democrat in office, let's buy coal stocks, but that would have been the right move. And we see it in the reverse all the time too, right? Trump's in office, solar energy stocks are absolutely killing it, right? So again, it's just not a really sound way to think about this. So next chart.
Okay, sure.
First time
the chart wasn't really giving you any good reason to buy it.
There's nothing there.
You can make 10% or something, but
it's one of these headache groups, right? Cigarette makers, gun makers, private prisons, like the big mess. So first time in a long time, big fan of the show. Wanted to get your thoughts on GENI on a daily. I'm seeing it reach a critical level around 750 that lines up with the 23.6% Fibonacci retracement. Oh, fun fact. Fun fact.
Wait, he dropped the 26 point what?
23.6 is
Hey,
actually, it's not a Fibonacci number though.
what is it?
Neither is 50%,
Yeah.
right? But the
But
chart
a lot
platforms
of, right. They have those as a preset. They'll have the 0.76 something or seven. Yeah.
don't get, that's like derivatives of Fibonacci numbers. You got the
Yeah.
38, you got the 62, and then you got your extensions. We don't really
I
pay
like
much
that.
attention to the others.
Nice Fibonacci PSA there from Steve.
Yes. Well, because I was yelled at early in my career by JC for doing just that. Yeah.
I hate to say it. Sometimes I'll see that stop at a certain one and I'll be like, oh, that's it. But yeah, you're right. It's not something I keep on my fibs but wow, what a nice
Yeah,
little base
I like
here.
this.
What
The
is this?
reversal's in, you'll have a rising long-term moving average on something like this.
Was
You
this a
really got
SPAC?
might be, Pat. It might be. Genius Sports Limited. What do you do?
But yeah, they're like pickleball makers or something, right?
I think we're gonna have Brett Conrad on the show tomorrow. Spoiler alert. We don't know yet.
Oh,
Um,
that's the man.
and he loves these apparel names, particularly like the athleisures. We just
Well,
had to do
that makes sense.
scalable technology-led products and services, sports betting, sports media. I don't know.
Hey, I think 10 is your clear level here. Fibonacci saying 998. So I think we call that 10. Um, let's also check out the retracement here.
London-based.
Ah, yeah, that 10-ish level's got two kind of fibs around it. I think that's probably that's a decent target too, because if you're buying this breakout of $8 to $10, that's a decent move right there. So I would take profits there. And if you're lucky enough to get that, then maybe look towards
So
13, 14.
So this is a fascinating company, Pat, too. I'm on their website right now. This is like
Yeah.
this new like growth industry that is sports data, right? Where we're all going to be watching sports games in the future in the metaverse with our Vision Pros. And there's going to be there's going to be like all sorts of like graphics on the screens and like pop out, statistics and this and that. This is what these guys do. So that's really neat. They're partnered with DraftKings, FanDuel, NFL, Coca-Cola,
Yeah,
SeaWorld.
I mean, at what point are they going to come out with like a sports analytics site, right? Where you can do all that. They probably already have one.
I think it
Like
might be
a
these guys.
Koipen for sports betting. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's something there,
Yeah.
particularly as the betting markets get more and more sophisticated, which I don't know how they can get much more sophisticated than they already are. There will be a huge demand for sports analytics, no different from there being a huge demand from market data analytics,
Yeah.
right?
I was looking at this one company, LNW. It's called Lights and Wonder. I don't know if you might know
Yeah.
it, Scientific Games, but they make like slot machines and things like that. But this one has been a pretty good one. Look at that base.
Wow.
Yeah, really nice one here.
Yeah.
So
The
gaming,
casino. Yeah.
gambling, yeah, doing great. You gonna be playing some bets this weekend?
I haven't made any yet. No.
I'm not a huge sports bettor, but this Super Bowl is one time I'll make like little prop bets. It's fun.
I'm going to get some action. I tried to get everybody to do a pool internally, but it's Thursday now and we have no pool, so I don't think that's happening. All right, what's next? I will probably put some money on the 49ers, though, because the Chiefs are just so easy to dislike.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Hanson, long
It really seems
Xylem.
like the organization wants them to win though, but we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. Long Xylem, 6 months, XYL.
Yeah. This one's nice. So this is like water utility or something, right?
No, really?
Yeah, I think so. Because I remember water was a hot trade.
It was. It was.
A few years ago. I think Michael Burry or something, he had this thesis on like,
Yeah, he was long water.
water. He bought
Yeah.
a bunch of almond fields in California, like to It's like the sexy way to play it. And
So,
water, I think it was 2017. Yeah,
so,
2017, right here. That
so
was
Pat, you're right. This one, it's $30 billion company. It's in the Invesco Water Resource Fund.
what is
Pho?
that? What is the
Pho?
ticker?
Pho?
Pho?
Do you like pho?
Oh, like PHO. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love me some good pho.
I'm more of a ramen. Oh, Steve, what is this? What the heck? What did we just find?
Mostly industrials, which people wouldn't think. You would think, oh, water utility or a water resources fund. That must be a lot of utilities. This is like 75-80% industrials. I'm pretty sure this fund. We were just talking about it in New York the other week.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean this thing's a monster.
Yeah, it kind of like reminds me of like Pave, where it's mostly just those industrial like sleeper names that nobody's really paying attention to. But anyway, let's get back to his question. XYL. Looks like they got earnings coming up. Not that soon, never mind. Uh, so you definitely want to be looking at these prior highs here. I drew that level a little bit big. Call it 135-ish or really 139. So that's where you want to be probably taking profits if you're buying this breakout here, which is a very nice breakout. Let me just zoom in a little bit here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this is definitely a viable breakout right here. Looks like you're a little late unless you got in then. But that was a beautiful, decisive breakout. You got the follow through yesterday, giving a little back here, but that's kind of to be expected. And yeah, you're looking at these former highs as a target. That's a great little trade right there. I mean,
Yep.
yeah,
Like I
just
said, decisive breakout. Got the earnings behind you.
you know what's great about these, Steve, is like, let's say it works out, right? You get this breakout, you get to the former highs. I would argue the chart looks even better at that point once it returns to those former highs. So
Yeah,
then you
agreed.
take off half. You've already paid for the trade.
Yep.
You know, you put a stop on the rest above where you entered. So you theoretically can't lose unless you get some sort of gap down, slippage, something like that. But this is a good one. Yeah.
100%. I'm picking up what you're putting down. What is next?
And Steve, you know, a lot of our viewers, a lot of these requests, they're these industrial type names. They're not the tech sexy names. They're
Yep.
not the AI names, which nothing wrong with those. Those are working right now, but it's good to see that other areas are working.
The internals in industrials right now are as strong as I've ever seen market internals in any sector in my life.
And that's the most positively correlated sector of the S&P. So
How you
what a good
doing?
sign.
Well, we're working on a post. Fonz is working on a post about it right now. It'll probably be posted in the next couple of days here. Next, we have Verve Holdings from Joseph. I'm looking to buy soon for a 6-month to 12-month trade.
Oh, wow. Huh. Looks like I already had this one marked up here, but it's
Wow.
hitting that bell.
At
I mean, so
261.
yeah, what we usually do with these, let me just get rid of this so I can. Uh, a lot of people ask us, how do you draw your fibs? You know, do you draw from the highs or do you draw from the closing prices? And the answer is you do both. If you really want to get kind of a level that you feel good about, you do both. So first you do the highs, then you do the closing prices, and that gives you a nice thick kind of area to take profits in. And if we put it back to a candle here, notice how like when it reached the first one, it just stalled for, that doesn't look like long, but that's what, 10 weeks? That's a couple months. But here we are again here. If you've been long, I think you have to be taking profits here, take some off it at least, because it could just stall for a few months. It doesn't have to correct. In fact, the best trends will just stall at a key level like this and consolidate sideways instead of that sharp correction. You know, they say trends can correct in one of two ways, price or time. So the healthiest thing would be this consolidating sideways. I don't think it's very likely that it'll just skyrocket to this next one. It could. We've seen that before, something like SMCI or some of the really strongest trends don't even consolidate, they just go. But
This
yeah,
has been one of those. at least off the 22 lows. This thing's up 8x. Flip it to the daily. Look the way it breakaway gaps through every big risk level. No. Leave the candles up. Look at these breakaway gaps. You got one at the 38%. You got another one at cycle highs. I mean,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
so like ideally you bought this, and we did, when the base was completed at about 16, right? But this one just keeps running. And at least, you have a logical level right here. And I mean, for
You're talking about this base. Oh, and it broke away. That was a breakaway gap when it finally resolved out of the base.
Yeah, I love that.
Beautiful.
Yeah. All right. So green light above what, 60?
You wouldn't start a position here, right? Unless, I mean, maybe you play it against this. It's tough.
Yeah, I think you can. I mean, yeah, right? Again, innocent until proven guilty. Was the easier money already made? The trend reversed second quarter of last year. That was probably the easier entry. You're already up 4 or 5x from there. But why wouldn't it keep running? These leaders keep leading.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you know what? Any trade is fine as long as you have an out point. As long as you're managing your risk and reward, and that risk is smaller than your potential reward, take it, swing at it.
And this one's pretty well defined right here. Okay, App lovin'. So this is the McLovin of cloud computing. These stocks are red hot. I'm long Path. Cloudflare is another one, which is net. And this space is just really, really working right now. Whether it's MongoDB, the Datadog, they all look good. And App is in that space as well, this cloud computing space.
Yeah, really nice setup here. And looks like I already had it marked up here. I don't know if that was from this show. It must have been. Mm-hmm. And by the way, Steve, little trick. You can save your little desktop layouts. So when I do this show, I try to do a different layout so it doesn't have all my old drawings.
Oh, smart.
Yeah. So from now on, I'm going to try to keep it just on this one, so we'll have all the drawings from the show. But 45 is your level here. Beautiful level. And I think we should fib it out here. This is a really clean chart. You ever look at a chart and you're like, okay, this one's obeying technicals kind of better than most. This is one of those. You get it's just a classic kind of roadmap of a reversal. You have the downtrend line break.
Totally.
And then nice spacing action here right under the 38.2. Think you're looking at 75 if it breaks this 45-50 level here.
Yep.
75 as your target. Looks nice, yeah. And
so I dropped this one in the chat today.
Over the last year, it's gone like $9.50 to $50 basically.
Yeah, it's like 5x. So the other one I dropped in from this space was Net, N-E-T. Throw that up quick.
Cloudflare, right?
Yep.
Oh, this has been Again, we must have looked at this one too because they got it all marked up already.
The bigger point is the relative strength from this group of stocks, very notable right now over the near term. When you drill in and you look at the actual components, you see a lot of fresh trend reversals. So great pond to fish in. Great pond to fish in.
Yeah.
What do we got next?
Oh, this is really nice, clean setup too.
Yeah, dude.
And look at that, like kind of a fresh breakout today. You look at here.
That's why I dropped it in.
Anywhere. Yeah, in a month or so, and nice resolution today.
Up 6%. This is the kind of market we're in. These ARK stocks are just ripping today.
Is this an ARK stock or?
Yeah, ARK W. ARK W.
Okay. Oh well, that's the strongest of the ARKs, right?
ARK W is my favorite pond to fish in right now. That chart is so clean. The reversal is in, and if you look here today, pretty much every component is up except for the big caps. So Microsoft's lower, AMD's lower, Meta's lower.
Oh, we needed a day like this, right? We needed a day like this, a breadth day.
Yes, we needed a day to see this participation spread into less loved names, right? And Net is leading the way, one of the biggest movers in this fund today, along with Coinbase, Taiwan Semi, Palantir, Path, Pure Storage, Shopify. Oh, you know what else is in here? Genius Sports. Genius Sports.
Look at that,
Okay.
right at the 38.2, lines up perfectly, Steve. You're playing
Yeah,
this to 91 at this point.
yeah, all day. I love this chart. And that's a good, I think it's an excellent vehicle, right? Spread your risk, diversify a little bit. You
You're
got 30.
speculating on some of the speculative names, but in a basket, so it's a
Right. That's right.
little more responsible.
Mark, looking at a long position on an industrial name, I think this is Dynatrace, massive base going back to 2018, DY.
That's Dicom?
I think it's Dynatrace, isn't it?
This
No,
DY
Dicom.
says
Yeah,
Dicom.
you're right.
I don't know what,
DT is Dynatrace.
again, industrial. These industrials, man, they're just, and you know this better than I do, but isn't industrials like probably the most broad sector or the most diverse? Like, if they don't know what to do with something, they just stick it in industrials, right?
Yeah, and then also discretionary. So industrials is diverse on the business side of things. Industrial companies tend not to face the end user, right, or the consumer, while discretionary stocks, consumer discretionary, also incredibly diverse, but they tend to touch the end consumer, right?
Oh, okay.
So if you're ever like
Yeah,
wondering, oh,
that makes sense.
is this one going to be discretionary or industrials? Ask yourself, who are their customers? If their customers are another business, it's usually an industrial. If their customers are consumers, it's usually a discretionary stock.
That makes sense. So, I mean, you could play this in a number of ways. If you're looking for a short-term trade, I would play just this little pattern here. It's like a nice little ascending triangle. And then I would play it back to the all-time highs, like 120. But I think that's getting too cute. I think you want to just play this breakout, right? You could even front run it a little bit.
Yeah.
Just play the breakout of 120, a nice whole round number. It's right there at the all-time highs pretty much. And then for targets, I would fib it out. Oh, wait, maybe we should have zoomed out here. Oh, wow, look at that. This level's very relevant.
So this one, headquartered in one of my favorite places in the world,
What's that?
Palm Beach Gardens.
Hey, the breakers.
Just a short, yeah. I'll see you at the Breakers.
Yeah, aren't you supposed to be in Miami this week? That's next week, right?
I'm going Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Big Super
Oh,
Bowl
man.
party.
I know. I got FOMO. I wish I was there with you and Todd, and you guys are gonna have a good time.
We're gonna hang out. We're gonna eat some good food, watch some good football, talk about ETFs. It's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be a blast.
Talk about ETFs.
We're gonna talk so much about ETFs.
I know.
There's actually there's some great panels Sunday right
Well,
before
listen, you're gonna have to give us the full report on this show when you're back. We expect one.
I will. I should
We
be back
want,
Tuesday.
yeah. I'm gonna ask you some questions about ETFs. What's your favorite one that you found out about? Yeah, sorry, I'm just marveling at this chart here.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah,
Like
really
how
nice
clean.
setup. Yeah, and I love that level, comes into play back here, the 2018 highs. It just kind of gives you more conviction, kind of validates it more if you actually do break out. And then I would do two different Fibonacci's here. I would do one here and fib out this little range too and see if any kind of meet up all the way up there, but I don't think you want to play that one. Yeah, I mean, if you get the breakout of 120, play it to 158 first. That seems reasonable. But that's a huge breakout. It's gone nowhere for 5 years, so take half off there.
Yeah.
Maybe play it up to 250. But it's a nice setup.
And kudos to you, Mark, because he picked it. This is a massive base going back to 2018. So
Yeah. Don't you love that when you find a nice setup and then you zoom out more and you're like, oh, it's even better.
yeah. So I also love it when our friends of the show and viewers bring us these awesome charts, because I haven't looked at this one in a long time. It's also on that whole theme we're talking about, the building and the construction and all that.
Yep.
So lovely. Let's hit the chat. We got 20 minutes to go here. Let's try and rip through these. Xylem is first. We already did it. John Wick, hello, my friend. Listen, Coinbase Mara, go look at my tweet from last night. It hasn't changed.
before we did this show on, what was it, Tuesday, we
Yeah.
get on and Steve, before the show, Steve's like, Pat, you got to buy these miracles. You got to buy them. I was like, I'll look after the show. I'll look after the show.
I told you the strike. I said how much I paid. I said, let's go, get in.
And so, I mean, tell us how it's doing. Break it. This is your chart.
I mean, look, I want more. I'm in the 19s and 20s. Mostly next week. I do have some exposure to some that expire tomorrow.
Oh, the 19s are in the money, though. I mean, this is.
19s are in the money. They're
Yeah.
both in the money. I'm all in the money.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm in the money. I'm all in the money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coinbase, I also just, licking my chops at this 115 level. Probably gonna build out a bigger position there. And
Well,
I think
115. Yeah. Okay.
so you have clean polarity zones in both to trade against. And then I think in terms of confirmation, it's just an AV WAP from the December highs. And then that's it. If you even, want or need confirmation, some people like to scale in, right? Maybe you put half on here and then you put other half on the AV WAP recapture. A lot of different ways to do this. The bottom line is these are both proven crypto equity vehicles, right? They've been good, been great to trade last year, again this year now. And they couldn't be cleaner, right? The risk rewards are impeccable against these former highs.
Yeah, and I think here I'm going to bring up a tweet of yours that you shared yesterday because I think you said it best here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see that? Yeah, so you're making the point, forget about those Bitcoin ETFs, which, by the way, everything I see about those Bitcoin ETFs are people complaining about how bad of a vehicle they are in terms of fees and liquidity. It's hard to find the sweet spot that has low fees and good enough volume to trade. So I think your point's great here. If you really want to look for a way to play crypto, I mean, it's different for everyone. If you want something in your IRA, it's probably better to have a crypto ETF. But these are a great way for traders to get exposure to crypto, I think. I think your point was very good here.
And, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they look fine, recapturing those VWAPs. But there are other leaders beneath the surface if you creep into the altcoin space that do look a lot better. Next, though, I don't want to spend too much time on this crypto.
Yeah.
But you're asking the right questions, John. Hi, Jonathan. Sambo, who I didn't know. I believe this is the homie Sam. Sambo in the chat. Live and feeder cattle futures. So our current intern, Sam, was at the cow auction this morning. And he sent a video, Pat. You got to go watch it.
I will.
You know how at the auction they do is like, okay, for 120 and then I'm going for 140. I had no idea what this man was saying. I'm like, Sam, is this even English? But he was just talking so fast. It was amazing. And the cows are like running around like a little box.
An auction is like the purest market you can have.
Dude.
Yeah.
Super cool. So Sam is trying to participate in, it's not even like the spot market, these auctions. I don't know enough to like how that affects the spot prices, but he says, some cows could go for more, some could go for less. So let's look at the live cattle. This one was actually a feeder cattle, I think, where he was.
Oh, wow.
But if you zoom out enough, Pat, keep going.
Oh, wow.
Whoa. Hey, now. And look at how this rally began too. I think that's really important, right?
Base.
The little fail bear trap ripper back in 20.
Oh.
Right there.
Yeah.
The best trends tend to start that way.
Yeah, and a lot of commodities did that, mostly because of oil, but it wasn't just oil-related commodities, I guess. It was all commodities did that kind of bottoming. Not all, but more than just the energy ones.
So what, pivot highs, Pat? What's
so this one? I think you're playing this breakout at this point.
Yeah.
Futures aren't my area of expertise. Definitely not ag futures either. But yeah, I would fib this out here. What do you get? 204 around there. But then I also want to fib out this bigger base here. I gotta watch this video. Where did Sam put that?
Our group chat.
Yeah, that's tough. I would play it to like 204.
Give me the
But
feeder. Do the
really,
feeder quick too.
oh
Actually,
no, so this is different.
yeah, we're gonna flip. We're just gonna skip the feeder because just show it. It's the same setup.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Oh wow.
Actually, it's even cleaner. Could you
Yeah,
jump
see,
it against the old highs?
wait, say it again?
Could you jump it against those 2015 highs?
You're saying
Like,
like
could you
like
use that as
here.
your entry? Because then you're
Yeah,
already triggered.
I think so, right?
Why not?
Yeah,
Again,
that's a good way to play it.
you could buy a little here, a little there. There's nothing wrong with waiting for confirmation and scaling into a position. There's also nothing wrong with scaling out. You
Is
good
there
here?
is there a good ETF that tracks this stuff? I mean,
Uh,
yeah, I know cows is
Cow.
not.
COW would
No,
be
isn't that cash cows? Isn't that? I mean, it would be a great
no,
ticker for.
no. COW used to be an iPath ETF, but I think
Oh,
they might have shut that thing down. Remember they closed all of those commodity funds a while ago?
did yeah.
Oh
Well,
no, I think it's still here.
yeah, this is still active. But cows with a Z, that's I think the cash cow ETF, right?
Yeah,
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 nothing to do with ag.
yeah. And cows with an S. There's a lot of them. Anyway, yeah, all these cow funds.
Dividend leader, yeah.
And it looks like the cow, as we knew it, the old iPath one is gone. But anyway, Mary Thwaites, hi in the chat.
Hey,
Mary is crushing it. She is now a CMT level 1 candidate, and
gee,
she
wow,
tweets some great
congratulations.
charts. So give Mary a follow. That's MJ Thwaites. I'll drop it into the chat here. Sorry, Mary, you're gonna get some new Twitter followers. Um, Next, we have Mark Zerby. Afternoon. Anyone else seeing these insane parabolic moves? Yes, industrials are so strong. VRT, didn't we already do? Why don't we do Eaton? ETN.
Eating, all right. Wow, eating good. Um, I think probably fit out this first because it looks like it might be at or near a target. Eh, not really. It's pretty extended here. I don't know if I'd want to, I don't know if I can find a good trade. I think at this point you probably want to play a pullback, maybe to this 240 level, but it's a strong trend. It's definitely a decent stock if you can get in it. Um, I don't know, Steve, you have any ideas on how to play this one?
It's too, I can't buy ones that look like this.
Yeah, right. It's very extended.
No, it's
Um,
too much. That's, I would love a throwback to this 240-ish zone where you just drew the rectangle.
yeah.
I can't buy something that looks like that. Let's move on though. SPHB, SPLV.
Oh,
Throw up the line chart. This is a big one. This is a chart that I am currently looking at every single day.
yeah. Why don't you break this one down?
We're at an inflection point, right? And we always want to know our
First of all, what
investors.
is it for those who don't know?
So this is an offense versus defense ratio. It's a risk appetite ratio. We always want to know are investors positioning themselves offensively
And we're
and
not trading
taking.
these, by the way. We're
Huh?
using it. We're not trading these. We're using it for information.
Thank you. So we always want to know, are investors positioning themselves, and taking on more risk, or are they positioning themselves more defensively and trying to take on less risk, right? So you have the offense in the numerator, that's a high beta fund, and then you have the defense in the denominator, which is low volatility. In bull markets, it is ordinary or common to see high beta stocks significantly outperform low volatility stocks, which are staples, utilities, right? Quality stuff, healthcare. So if this ratio breaks out of this multi-year base, it's just one of those data points where we say, oh, this is another point for the bulls, right? This is the kind of stuff that we see in a bull market, a breakout in this ratio. And we're right there. It's an inflection point. So we are watching it closely. Need a decisive breakout though, right? Let's see this thing, rip higher. It's been dancing around at the upper bounds here for a while.
Yeah,
Okay?
but definitely constructive for the broader market. look how that ratio held this the I guess inception highs here. Just really clean chart, resolving higher. What more can you ask for, Steve?
No, it's great. It's great. Let's get through some of these.
Sure.
Leopold, we're not going to do Baba because it's a dumpster fire. There's really just nothing there for me.
Listen though, I saw. Did you see the Economist cover? I think they had China on there today.
Dude, here's the thing about The Economist in China. They write about China 10 times a year. Right. So like I hate that. They're always writing about China, good stuff, then bad stuff. It's China, China, China. We all talk about China too much. You want to know when it'll be time to buy Chinese stocks when nobody's talking about them anymore. Okay? My whole career. Yeah.
What did you think about that stat I sent you yesterday though about when they replaced their regulator?
Oh, that was a great chart.
That was interesting, right? Here, can I pull it up real quick?
Yeah. This is but this is the game that you're playing, right? Usually we have like price data or solid market evidence to make our calls. And what this chart shows is you're just playing a political game with a communist country, and stuff like this tends to work, right? Are they devaluing their currency? That's often a good time to buy. Are they replacing their regulator? So the new guy probably comes in and devalues the currency. You know what I mean? That's what's really going on here. And is this the kind of market that you want to invest in? Right. You know, if this was the S&P 500, the US, we would show you something like, hey, look, when discretionary stocks start outperforming staples, it's a good time to buy stocks. We would never be like, hey, look, the Federal Reserve Chairman just got replaced. It must be a market bottom. Like it's so,
and it's kind of a cute market signal. I don't know if I'd ever take that trade, but
I agree.
It's interesting nonetheless.
It's not a strategy. Show grab because there is some form of a base shaping up here. I tried to jump this, entered early. I've been stopped out. This is one I am interested in. I have the app on my phone. I have taken rides in a grab. Takes a lot longer to pick you up than Uber, and the traffic in these countries tends to be a lot worse.
They don't have like traffic lights on them.
That's right.
It's just kind of go when you can.
Riley and I took a grab through like the Vietnamese countryside when we were going golfing one day. It was like an hour and a half ride. And it was the coolest car ride I've ever been on in my life.
Why is that?
Because it was like an hour and a half tour, and both of us were just staring out the window, like in amazement, you know, going through
golf areas that look Vietnam like.
Oh, some areas look like a jungle, and then there'd be like a cement factory and some sort of, you know, manufacturing plant, or like it was just super cool. And everybody's on like the bikes, go-peds and stuff, and there's no like traffic rules. Everybody just kind of shares all the lanes together, and it's nerve-wracking. You're like,
I remember you told me, you were like, the first time I crossed the street, I thought I was going to die. I thought that was it.
Yeah, I thought for sure I would die. And they're like, no, just go. They'll go around you, and they do. They just drive right around you.
Yeah, this one is nice. I see what you're talking about. I mean, that level, $4 is your level.
If you want to jump it, you drop a VWAP from what, the like September high?
Yeah. Yeah, September, August size. It's right there. Yeah.
Keeps getting rejected at it.
Yep.
Okay. I like the idea. I think it needs more time. You know, you want to be patient with this one, but I do like this business and this theme, right? This is the Uber of Southeast Asia. So 100% on my radar. Can you look at Sprint right up Straz's alley? Isn't that Sprint?
Yep.
Sentinel One.
Oh no,
not up my alley.
Isn't Sprint, right?
Isn't this a cable company?
Is Sprint even still a company?
Let's see. Yeah, Sprint. T-Mobile, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
This is cybersecurity, apparently.
Is it a different kind of Sprint, like different company?
No, this is cybersecurity, Sentinel One. Forget Sprint.
Oh, okay. Oh,
sorry.
I see. So
that looks good.
Pretty clean level you got here, right here. 29.30. Yeah, I mean, that is your level, no doubt.
Ion strength.
Yep. Looks like kind of a new issue. Went public in 2021 at the wrong time.
Like so many companies did.
Yep. And that's when, I mean, that's that's when it happens, right? Like there's a reason we didn't see so many IPOs in the last couple of years because the market hasn't been right. There's no appetite for it. But I
Uh,
bet you we will.
we got 5 minutes, Pat.
What do you want to do? Oh,
CPRT.
well, I didn't quite break
All right.
this one down. I think you want to play breakout 30. 30 gets you 38. Pretty simple there. But that is a nice level 30. Anyway, which one?
Copart, CPRT.
Is this in like auto parts or something? Really nice one. This is one of those base on base setups that we like, Straza. Um,
Looks like an industrial early leader, right?
yeah. So first you got this big base breakout, nice 1.5 year base. Looks like it broke out halfway through last year. And then, let me just, um, then kind of just went sideways, right? And you almost had kind of a failed head and shoulders here, Steve. Like, look at that. Kind of.
Oh yeah, love these failed tops in the
Yeah, like
context of primary uptrends.
kind of punched through here and then nice, nice rip here. And then we've just been basing for the last, call it 3 months. Um, Really constructive stock. You know, it's obviously in a primary uptrend, but you just base, breakout. And if you're not in it, at the right time, the move is very quick, and then it'll base for months. But
Yep.
the move itself, that'll take like a couple weeks, but then it just consolidates. So I like
Yeah.
this. I'd be playing a breakout of this 50. I would jump in and do 50, but 51 as confirmation. Um,
Nice round number.
yeah, fib it out for your target. 55. Not a ton of juice, but pretty solid setup.
All right, cool. Yeah, Wavy, email me or just DM me on Twitter. That's even easier. Can you guys look at IoT?
IoT. Yeah, this is one that we've looked at before. Samsara. Yep.
Ooh,
This was one that we looked at on the Buzz a few months ago. Sam could
fresh,
probably go back and look at
fresh
exactly.
breaky.
Beautiful setup. Yeah. And this is one that's been obeying technicals really well too.
And the
It,
sweet throwback, Pat, to that
yeah.
breakout level.
Oh, yeah. You're saying right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very clean. At this point, I would be, maybe you get another retest here. That'd be nice. Buy it at 30, make sure it doesn't get below here and start filling that gap around 29, 28. But I'd rather buy the breakout here. Let's put this in a line chart to see closing prices. Yeah, play a breakout of like 36. Steve, I don't know if you would jump at the gun here, do a VWAP.
I think you could drop a VWAP from that blow off December 14th candle, which is the exact day when market internals peaked on a short-term basis last year after the massive rally we had in Q4. And we're blasting right through it today, right? After a couple failed attempts earlier in January.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, this is a nice setup. And then I'd fit out this base too to see where we could go from here.
Why not fib out the whole base, like the whole structure?
What do you mean? Like the
Go back to the 21 high.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the YouTube. Sorry.
Oh no, oh, yeah, yeah.
Because
This
I got the
one,
Zoom here, I got the YouTube there.
so man, this fib gets you all the way up to 70. That seems kind of aggressive from 34. But these things can do it. I think maybe you use closing prices on this one.
Yeah. Wow.
You do. But
Ha.
I mean, that's a huge base. It could do it for sure.
Listen, so some closing thoughts here. This has been great as always. Patrick, the chart ninja today. Absolutely killed it. I
Oh
don't know
man,
if you
dude, we
guys.
have so much fun with this show.
So
Like
yeah, too much fun.
our
Um,
viewers are awesome. It's good.
Too much fun. Wow. So I'm not sure if you guys are messing with us, Mark, Larry, Mary. Something happened yesterday. I missed our analyst meeting and found out that I missed one meeting and we're shorting coal stocks. So very confused. We have a meeting actually right now. As soon as we hop off of this video, we have an analyst meeting to discuss the coal thing. And I told the guys, I said, you better bring some really good evidence or this is going to be a really short meeting. But I'm not on board with the coal short from yesterday. I think we're still kind of like thinking about it and working things out on the analyst team. So come back with your coal requests on Tuesday, please. Then just to run through some of these comments, Broadcom NVIDIA ratio chart. Yeah, why don't you do that, Pat, real quick?
Let's do it.
AVGO, NVIDIA ratio.
Hey, Broadcom quickly becoming one of the big boys. I mean, I think
They
they're up
are
with Berkshire and
huge.
Eli Lilly. Like that's kind of a new class that have just kind of made a resurgence recently.
And
They're all big, big stocks.
yeah, and to be careful with this kind of analysis, NVIDIA or Broadcom are not benchmarks, right? So if you own either one of these stocks, you are thrilled and you're outperforming everything, right?
Mhm.
So no matter what, I guess the analysis here that Pat's about to give you, it doesn't mean that one of them is not good.
Right, right. They're probably going to both head higher on an absolute basis. I mean, in the short term, I will say this though, NVIDIA, it's at the target. Like I would not be long here where I had a small position on it, sold some yesterday because it reached the second target. So
Yeah.
there's something wrong with my fibs, I think. Oh my gosh, yeah. There we go. Don't you hate that?
Yep.
Anyway. Um yeah. So it's at your target here. Notice how when it got to the first target of this big base here, it just flatlined for 6 months. So something similar could happen here, or you get a sharp correction. But this move has to correct in some way. I mean, you never want to bet against a really strong uptrend, but you don't get these moves that last too long for a stock this big, and this would be a level where I'd be taking caution. And what does that mean for semis more broadly? This is the biggest component we're talking about in the semiconductor index. So, I mean, I love semis; they've been great, but don't overstay your welcome in these. Um,
Or
you
just
know,
or just buy one that is in earlier stages of its uptrend.
yeah. But you see what I mean, though. Like semis, they've been great, but kind of reaching a point where we should probably expect them to kind of pause. Not saying they're done, but um, anyway, let's do the Avago video.
Yeah,
I still call it Avago. I don't think I'll ever be able to call
I
it
do too.
Broadcom. Um, yeah, finding support here. And, just a reminder, if this thing's going up, that means Broadcom's outperforming NVIDIA. So it really needs to hold this. If it does, that means Broadcom's probably the one to go with. But like Steve said, I mean, you're splitting hairs kind of thing. They're both in the same industry. They're probably going to trend together. Um, so what do you think, Steve? Any last thoughts?
Matt, real quick, I'm picking and choosing through the chat right now because we just get so many good questions.
Oh
Matt,
man,
this is
nice
kind
one.
of more what I'm thinking, right? For one that maybe is in an earlier stage.
Oh, okay. And this is it's tech, but what is it software or
Yeah. So as you do this, I just want to take some questions here. Vietnamese food is heavily influenced by French cuisine. Maybe, unbeknownst to me, and it tastes like nothing like it. So that's great. Also, Jonathan, I'm so jealous, man. Let me know if you need any new suits or anything. I'll put you in touch with some awesome people over there. He's going to Thailand, which is super cool. I think you can use Grab in Phuket, but I've never been there. We were in Ho Chi Minh. So, but definitely try it because we did use Grab where we were. And then I saw another one in here. Yeah. Oh, EWW, Mexico, Argentina, nice. And don't sleep on some of these Asian countries now. I think the Philippines is
Yeah.
starting to look really interesting also.
Okay, India, beautiful base here in India.
Yeah.
And then another one I was looking at, Greece. Have you looked at Greece recently?
Yeah, Greg.
Yeah, so I think that's been one of the leaders. And then just a really clean chart. Like, we could draw that level in a second, but
Yeah, so good, man.
oh man, I'm glad my fibs are finally working. I'm kind of annoyed that they were off the whole show.
Were they
But
really? What did you do?
yeah, yeah. So you can either base your fib tool on a log scale or
Oh,
non-log scale.
God. You always do
Yeah.
that. Why are you
Yeah.
always messing with your tool? Isn't that
No,
the
it's
fun? That's okay. All right. Listen, this was awesome. Everybody, Jonathan, I'm so jealous, man. Have a great time. Um, Wavy, I'll talk to you in the DMs about how we're getting these bases. France also looks
and
good.
Wavy, let us know where you're finding these things. I'm kind of curious about your process now.
EWQ or the CAC, zoom out on these bases. France looks great. And then ask yourself if these, multi-decade generational bases are breaking out in developed Europe or go look at Japan, right, out in Asia. What does that mean for the broader market? What does that mean for risk appetite? What does that mean for risk assets, right? If these things went sideways and did nothing for 15 years and are now breaking, zoom out, Pat, and are now breaking out of these massive structures,
Oh my gosh.
right? So that's kind of like the next level thinking that where you want to be when you're looking at charts like this, right? So is the bull market just going to end if these charts break out? I would think we could argue maybe it's just beginning, maybe it's more of a secular bull, and those are the questions I think we should be asking. Maybe this is one of those new like technology revolution bulls, like the .com or now the AI, right? They call them like productivity bulls.
Oh, okay. That's a new one.
All right. So, as always, thank you everybody for joining us. We went an hour and, well, over an hour today.
Yeah, we could do this all day.
We will be back on Tuesday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, hitting the charts again with you guys next week. In the meantime, be sure to join us every morning for the morning show right here on Stock Market TV. We're live from 8:30 to 10 o'clock. Everybody have a great rest of your week and a great weekend.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.